Hello and welcome to Echoes of Time, History's Greatest Moments. I'm Dr. Eleanor Blake, and I'm excited to delve into a pivotal moment in history with you today. In this episode, we'll be exploring the Meiji Restoration, a period of profound transformation in Japan that reshaped the course of the nation's history. Join me as we unravel the intricate events and influential figures that defined this remarkable era. So sit back, relax, and let's journey back in time to uncover the fascinating story of Japan's great transformation. Before the Meiji Restoration, Japan was under the control of the Tokugawa shogunate. The country was isolated from the rest of the world, practicing a policy of sakoku, which restricted foreign trade and limited contact with outside cultures. This period of isolation lasted for over 200 years and led to a stagnation in economic and technological advancements. The social structure in Japan was rigid, with a hierarchical system that placed the samurai at the top, followed by farmers, artisans, and merchants. This system was known as the Four Divisions of Society, and it maintained strict societal boundaries and limited social mobility. During this time, the country experienced economic hardships with a decline in agricultural production and widespread famine. The political authority of the shogunate also weakened, leading to increased internal strife and civil unrest. At the same time, Western powers were expanding their influence in Asia, and Japan faced increasing pressure to open its doors to foreign trade. The arrival of American Commodore Matthew Perry's fleet in 1853 was a turning point, forcing Japan to reevaluate its isolationist policies. As we delve deeper into the Meiji Restoration, it's essential to understand the conditions that preceded this transformative period in Japanese history. The stage was set for monumental change, and the impact of the Meiji Restoration would shape Japan's future in profound ways. The Meiji Restoration marked a pivotal turning point in Japanese history as the country transitioned from feudal isolation to a modernized and industrialized nation. What were the driving forces behind this radical transformation? External pressures from the Western powers, particularly the threat of colonization, created a sense of urgency for Japan to modernize and strengthen its military and economy. The arrival of Commodore Matthew Perry's Black Ships in 1853 and subsequent unequal treaties with the United States and other Western powers exposed Japan's vulnerability and underscored the need for reform. These external pressures served as a catalyst for change, compelling the ruling elite to recognize the necessity of modernization in order to safeguard Japan's sovereignty. Internally, the frustration and unrest among the samurai, who had lost their traditional privileges and status in the face of political reforms, further fueled the push for change. Economic stagnation, social inequality, and the rise of dissent within the feudal system all contributed to an atmosphere ripe for transformation. In response to both external pressures and internal frustrations, the Meiji Restoration ushered in a series of ambitious reforms aimed at modernizing Japan across all sectors, from government and education to industry and infrastructure. This period of rapid transformation not only enabled Japan to defend its independence, but also positioned the country to emerge as a formidable global power in the years to come. The fall of the shogunate in Japan marked a significant turning point in the country's history. For centuries, the shoguns had held the real power, while the emperor was mainly a figurehead. However, during the late 19th century, a series of internal and external pressures began to weaken the shogunate's grip on power. One of the key factors leading to this decline was the arrival of Western powers, who forced Japan to open its borders to foreign trade through a series of unequal treaties. This external pressure exposed the weaknesses of the shogunate's isolationist policies and highlighted the need for modernization and reform. At the same time, internal dissatisfaction with the shogunate's rule was growing, Economic hardships, social unrest, and a desire for political change were fueling discontent among various factions in Japanese society. Amid this turmoil, a movement to restore power to the emperor began to gain momentum. Supporters of this movement saw the emperor as a unifying symbol for the nation and a potential catalyst for modernization and strength. This movement led to the overthrow of the shogunate and the restoration of imperial rule under Emperor Meiji. The ascension of Emperor Meiji marked the beginning of a new era for Japan. His reign saw the implementation of sweeping reforms aimed at modernizing the country and strengthening its position on the world stage. The Meiji Restoration set in motion a series of transformative changes that would shape Japan into the modern nation it is today. This pivotal moment in Japanese history serves as a reminder of the power of societal change and the resilience of a nation in the face of significant challenges. The fall of the shogunate and the rise of Emperor Meiji laid the groundwork for Japan's remarkable transformation and emergence as a global powerhouse. During the Meiji Restoration, Japan underwent a remarkable transformation as the government sought to modernize the country and catch up with the Western powers. One of the significant shifts was from the traditional samurai culture to an industrialized society. This transition aimed to create a strong and modern military force, boost economic development, and establish Japan as a global player. The Meiji leaders recognized the importance of adopting Western industrial and military practices to strengthen Japan. They implemented widespread reforms in education, industry, and the military, focusing on modernizing technologies, infrastructure, and organizational structures. This transition from the traditional warrior ethos of the samurai to embracing technological advancements represented a profound cultural and societal shift. Key to Japan's modernization was the establishment of industries such as steel manufacturing, shipbuilding, and textile production, which played a vital role in transforming the country's economy. The government encouraged the adoption of Western industrial techniques and expertise, leading to the development of a thriving industrial sector that contributed to Japan's rise as an industrial powerhouse. Moreover, the shift from a predominantly agrarian society to an industrial economy led to significant urbanization, with many people moving to cities to seek employment in the growing industries. This shift in demographics and economic activity marked a departure from traditional feudal structures and contributed to the emergence of a modern, more interconnected society. Overall, the move from the age-old traditions of the samurai to embracing modern industrial practices reflected Japan's determination to modernize and compete on the global stage. The changes brought about during this period continue to shape Japan's identity as a technologically advanced and industrially driven nation to this day. In the next segment, we'll explore the impact of these modernization efforts on Japan's global standing and its emergence as a significant player in the international arena. The Meiji Restoration in Japan brought about significant social and economic changes that transformed the country in profound ways. One of the key social transformations was the abolition of the feudal system, which had been in place for centuries. This move allowed for greater social mobility and paved the way for a more unified and centralized nation. Economically, the Meiji Restoration led to the modernization and industrialization of Japan. The government invested in infrastructure, such as railways and telegraph lines, and encouraged the development of industries such as textiles, mining, and shipbuilding. These changes laid the foundation for Japan's emergence as a major industrial and economic power in the 20th century. At the same time, new social structures and institutions emerged, such as the introduction of a modern education system and the adoption of Western legal and administrative practices. These developments not only modernized Japan, but also contributed to the country's rapid transformation into a formidable global player. Overall, the social and economic transformations during the Meiji Restoration set the stage for Japan's remarkable rise as a modern nation and established the foundations for its future success. When we look at Japan's rise as a global power during the Meiji Restoration, it's truly awe-inspiring to see the speed and magnitude of the transformation. The period from 1868 to 1912 marked a dramatic turning point for Japan, propelling the nation from a feudal society to a modern industrialized powerhouse in just a few decades. One of the key factors in Japan's rapid ascent was its deliberate embrace of Western technologies, institutions, and ideologies. The leaders of the Meiji Restoration recognized the need to modernize and strengthen the country in order to protect its sovereignty and prosper in a rapidly changing world. As a result, they undertook ambitious reforms across virtually every aspect of Japanese society, from politics and education to industry and military. Japan's newfound focus on industrialization and modernization paved the way for the country to become a formidable player on the global stage. Its economy rapidly shifted from agrarian to industrial, leading to the rise of manufacturing, trade, and commerce. The nation's military also underwent significant modernization, enabling Japan to assert itself as a regional and global power. This transformation had profound implications for Japan's position in the world. The country, once isolated and considered a distant and mysterious land, quickly became a force to be reckoned with. Its influence extended beyond East Asia, and it increasingly engaged with Western powers on equal footing. Japan's rise as a global power during the Meiji Restoration serves as a testament to the nation's resilience, adaptability, and vision for the future. The dramatic changes that occurred during this period continue to shape Japan's identity and its role in the global community to this day. As we delve deeper into the impact of the Meiji Restoration on Japan's emergence as a global power, it's clear that this period was a defining chapter in the country's history, setting the stage for its remarkable journey to becoming a leading player in the international arena. Today, we have the honor of speaking with a Tokyo historian who will shed light on the intricacies of the Meiji Restoration and its profound impact on Japan. Can you give us some insight into the social and cultural changes that took place during this transformative period? Certainly. The Meiji Restoration brought about sweeping reforms that modernized Japan and dissolved the traditional feudal system. The implementation of Western-style technologies, education, and industrialization significantly transformed the country's economy and infrastructure. Socially, there was a push for modernization and the adoption of Western customs, leading to a shift in societal norms and values. Fascinating. How did these changes affect the daily lives of the Japanese people? The changes were profound. For example, the implementation of a modern educational system resulted in increased literacy rates and the diffusion of new knowledge. Industrialization and urbanization led to shifts in occupation and lifestyle, with many people moving from rural areas to cities in search of new opportunities. Moreover, the abolishment of the samurai class and the introduction of a conscription army fundamentally altered traditional notions of status and hierarchy. It's clear that the Meiji Restoration had far-reaching effects on Japan. How did it shape the country's future trajectory? The Meiji Restoration laid the foundation for Japan's emergence as a global power. By embracing Western advancements while preserving elements of its own cultural identity, Japan positioned itself as a formidable player on the world stage. The Restoration also set the stage for further modernization and industrial expansion, propelling Japan into the ranks of leading nations. Thank you for providing such valuable insights into this pivotal period of Japanese history. It's evident that the Meiji Restoration was a watershed moment that forever altered the course of Japan's development. It was my pleasure. The Meiji Restoration remains a fascinating subject that continues to shape our understanding of Japan's journey towards modernity. When we look at the Meiji Restoration in Japan, it's hard not to draw parallels with the modern world. One country that seems to be undergoing a transformation similar to Japan's is South Korea. Like Japan during the Meiji era, South Korea has experienced rapid industrialization and modernization in a relatively short period of time. The country has made incredible strides in technology, innovation, and economic development, propelling it onto the global stage as a major player in the world economy. Another country that comes to mind is China. Over the past few decades, China has embarked on a path of economic reform and modernization that echoes the sweeping changes seen in Japan during the Meiji period. The country's rapid industrial development, investment in infrastructure, and embrace of global trade have propelled China to become the world's second-largest economy and a major player in global affairs. These parallels between the Meiji Restoration in Japan and the modern transformations in South Korea and China raise interesting questions about the trajectory of these nations and the profound impact of such rapid and comprehensive change. It's clear that the legacy of the Meiji Restoration continues to resonate with the world today, and as we witness the ongoing transformations in these countries, it's worth pondering what lessons we can learn from Japan's great transformation as we navigate the complexities of the modern global landscape. In conclusion, the Meiji Restoration marks a pivotal turning point in Japanese history as it brought about tremendous social, political, and economic transformations. This period of modernization and industrialization laid the foundation for Japan's emergence as a global power in the 20th century. The Meiji Restoration serves as a reminder of the adaptability and resilience of a nation in the face of rapid change and external pressures. Reflecting on the key themes discussed in this episode, it is evident that the Meiji Restoration was a period of dynamic reform and renewal. From the dismantling of the feudal system to the promotion of Western-style education and technology, the Restoration era represents a remarkable chapter in Japan's quest for modernity. As we look back on this fascinating historical period, it's important to recognize the enduring impact of the Meiji Restoration on contemporary Japan. The legacy of the Meiji era continues to shape Japan's societal values, political institutions, and economic strategies. Thank you for joining us in exploring the Meiji Restoration, Japan's great transformation. We hope you enjoyed gaining insights into this significant period of Japanese history. Stay tuned for more engaging episodes as we delve into other compelling topics. Goodbye for now, and we look forward to having you join us again in the future.